necessary.
Welcome to WVTC TV Network, capturing family moments in real time, bringing families closer together from the comforts of home. We are unleashing something different to the world. Start your subscription today for the low price of $4.99 per month or $55 annually. Go to www.wvtctvnetwork.com to sign up today. WVTC TV Network is streaming live on 8 different platforms. You can easily download the WVTC TV Network app on the Apple Store, Play Store, Roku, Fire TV, and more. Here at WVTC TV, we have access to movies that everyone can enjoy, including independent films, Sons of a Preacher and a Good Thing, Treasures of Life, the epic drama, The Passion of the Christ, and the box office hit Madagascar Escape to Africa. Remember, go to www.wvtctvnetwork.com and sign up today.
Hey, great morning. Welcome. It's another Windy City podcast.
And we are excited.
Yes, I'm your girl, Annette, and I got my girl over here.
And this is y'all sister, Michi.
How you doing, girl?
I'm well.
Good.
I'm really good. Let me kind of do it this way. Okay.
Oh, all right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds
All
good.
right, I got to turn a little bit.
I'm excited. Michi's excited.
I
We
really
are
am.
here with a beautiful young woman of God. I think that'll give me some points. Young woman of God here with us as our guest. Dr. Shirley Hill is here on today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I'm gonna need you to get into that mic though. Make it your friend.
Get a little closer.
That's right. That's
Don't
right.
be shy.
Right. So we're so glad you're here on today. We wanted to have you on as our guest so that we can talk with you. You are well sought out, and you have a lot of great knowledge that we want to kind of, disseminate amongst the people.
Yeah, and we need to tell the people who she is
So,
real quick.
yes, we do. You
Because
wanna go
I
ahead
mean,
and
she
read a little
has a
bit?
lot. I mean, I think she's worthy of it, and especially Black History Month
That's
and
right.
everything. So,
That's right.
but as Dr. Hill told her, Black History is every day.
That's right. Indeed, it is.
Yes, ma'am. So this is Dr. Shirley Hill, a natural food hygienist. How you pronounce that? Hygienist?
Hygienist.
It is hygienist. Okay, thank you. She earned her certification with honors as a nutrition specialist and educator from Ashworth College in Atlanta, Georgia. Additionally, she holds a PhD in food chemistry as the wellness administrator for SACO Global Nation and SACO Community Development. She has been sent all over the United States to care for many leaders, affectionately called the Apostle of Nutrition.
All
Y'all,
right,
these
now.
words small. I had to make it a little bit bigger. It's that 55 kicking in, baby. Dr. Hill effectively uses food as medicine, even in the most extreme cases. She's researched, written, and edited the role of ministry in disease prevention, the mingled seed, and the new face on child care. She has also developed curriculum for the Ford Motor Company, daycare provider trainer program, and more. And if you say, man, she looks familiar, this is why. Dr. Hill was a regular guest on TVN's national Doctor to Doctor TV show, as well as Ask Dr. Ron radio broadcast. She has also taught the Eat to Live nutrition course at Chicago State University. Oh my God. And Nutrition God's Way classes at Trinity Inductive Bible Study College since 2017. She has collaborated with Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette on a monthly wellness segment with Annette Harris, my co-host. And it was Dr. Hill's pleasure to assist four-time heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Holyfield, back to health and school officials in Marmalade, Haiti, to keep more than 200 children safe from disease during the cholera outbreak. In addition to consulting with a Kenneth Fowler of Freeport, Grand Bahamas, she brings a cancer prevention initiative to that country. Dr. Hill is also founder of the National Association of Christian Caregivers and a visiting professor at Sackle Bible College and Seminary. Y'all, her dedication to the health and well-being of others earned Dr. Hill the Black Atlas Award in 2010 and the Lady of Distinction Award in 2018. You can tell, right? She's beautiful. Yeah. Dr. Hill is a member of the following associations. Check this out. The American Cancer Society of Illinois, the American Diabetes Association, the Action for Healthy Kids Connection, Organic Consumers Association, and last but not least, the Association for Christian Caregivers. Everybody, I always say, let's make some noise, and I'm hosting. So we're going to make some noise in y'all homes and in your cars.
That's right.
Make some noise for Dr. Shirley Hill. Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And that wasn't even all of it.
Oh, I'm like, of all people, how do I get tongue tied? But it's so small, y'all. I apologize.
No,
for
you're
that.
good. You're good, sis.
So y'all, I gotta tell y'all something real quick about Dr. Hill. She already got me together, right? So I'm complaining about my phone going out the other day, the day of the election, right? So I was like, and I couldn't even get the app working so I could get my Dunkin' Donut coffee. She said, God is good, ain't he? What I forgot what she said.
God was helping you.
God was helping me. So, and then I said, well, but I was just getting a decaf coffee.
Right.
And then what did you tell me regarding decaf coffee or decaffeinated coffee?
Well, the government allows these companies to put between 25 and 100 milligrams of caffeine in their products and yet say zero caffeine. And so you know that when you drink a decaffeinated product, that it has between 25 milligrams and 100 milligrams of caffeine in it. Legally.
So my co-host Michi, she kind of got a little, despondent before we started today. I told her, I said, it's on now. Y'all ask for Dr. Hill here today.
Brother Gerald of Windy City Gospel Music, he loves
his
coffee.
That's probably why he over there bucking his eyes.
Is that what that is?
Maybe so.
Baby, he quiet too.
Yeah.
I mean. Gerald love his coffee.
He love his coffee.
Dr. Hill just got us together about this coffee. So, what adverse effect does coffee have on the body?
Well, American coffee is not healthy. The coffee, the benefits that they tell you that we are told that we get from drinking coffee, those benefits, they only come from the green coffee bean.
Wow.
And so the darker that coffee, the less health benefits that it has, because when you heat that coffee bean and it becomes darker and darker, that dark color is acrylamides. That's the process of acrylamides, forming acrylamides, and acrylamides cause cancer. So we won't mention that coffee, that it is caustic to the kidneys and the liver. So, And we know how it gives us the jitters. You know, we know the little bitty stuff. We
See,
just
I
don't
was
know the
talking
big
about
stuff.
that downstairs. I was just
Wow.
because I was just so those that know me, I drive, right? I would be driving all over the
Yeah.
place, and I used to be running off, not running people off the road, but lately, within the last, I want to say like the last 4 or 5 years, when I drive on the highway, it's like this anxiety hit, and this I'm jittery, and I'm
Yeah.
just, and I'm like,
Ooh.
what? And what?
Wow.
And I realized my coffee intake has increased
Oh,
too.
that's not good.
Oh,
And I
That's
talked to
not
my
good.
doctor about it, and he was like, "Well, yeah, it does have an effect with your nervous system,
Yes,
your
it
central
does.
nervous system." And
Yes,
so
it
I was
does.
like, "Okay, my fix is let me get decaf."
so you can keep drinking that coffee.
And maybe it's the mental thing, y'all, because I noticed I could just get on the damn ride and I would no problem. I promise y'all, I would approach the ramp to get onto the expressway, and I like freak out. Like
Ooh.
I have been taking the streets sometime to go from 115th and Pulaski to 190 North State Street to pick up my husband from work at the ABC studio sometime. Because
Wow.
so I definitely understand how it relates, I know, to our central nervous system.
Mhm.
But and you said kidney, it
Oh, yeah,
affects your kidneys
and your liver.
and your liver.
Mm.
You
Oh
know,
my
it just
God.
think about it. If it affects your kidneys and your livers and your central nervous system, then it really affects the entire body.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
that makes sense, common sense. Listen, Dr. Hill, I know
Oh, my
that I
goodness.
am familiar with you, as we've already heard in the in your bio, that you and I have been collaborating since 2017 on my
long time.
show. Can you talk to us about this position, your foundation, your organization, but being a natural food hygienist? Talk to us about that, because I want the people to understand where that comes from,
Yeah.
what that's all about, and also tell the difference between, and I know I'm throwing questions at you, tell the difference between a natural food hygienist and a nutritionist. Maybe can you start there?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, that's a good place to start. The difference between a natural food hygienist and a nutritionist and a doctor, it's all the same thing. They do not deal with what you put in your mouth that's on the end of your knife and fork that causes the condition to begin with. That's why they give treatments.
Mm.
They treat the symptoms because they have no knowledge of the original cause, which is your knife and fork. And so then the natural food hygienist deals with the knife and fork that causes the condition.
Right. Okay.
And so therefore, when you start with the cause, then you can eliminate the condition. The
Sure.
reason that you have to take medication
Yeah.
for the rest of your life, you're told, is because you never get to the cause. The cause is never eliminated. Therefore, to treat the symptoms, to control the symptoms, then you have to be on the medication for the rest of your life. But if you look at your food, what's on the end of your knife and your fork, then you can get rid of
My
the
God.
cause
My
of
God.
the condition.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay. That was great. Thanks for answering that. Because some people they get it mixed up.
No,
They
that's
do.
not-
You know, I mean, nutritionists, natural food hygienists, you know, and I know that you have experienced that even in your years of consulting. I'll never forget, not too long ago, you told me about someone that, you know, you were consulting, and they say, "Oh no, you're nothing but a nutritionist,"
Right.
you know. And I was like, wow, they don't see the difference. But thanks for breaking that down. So how did you get started in this area?
Well, oh my goodness.
Tell it all.
I, as a little bitty girl, 8 and 9 years old, I did hair.
Mhm.
I did hair. I did my cousin's hair, my aunt's hair. I did the kids in the neighborhood hair. And so when the beehives and some of you older people will remember this, the beehives and the French rolls, and I was very efficient in that. The girls would come by the house for me to do their hair. And my aunt, when I was about 9, she bought me everything, the Marcel irons, all the Marcel irons, the curling irons, the straightening combs, all of it. And so, and I loved it. I did everyone's hair. So fast forwarding to being grown, having children, I went to beauty school.
Okay.
And when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, my first child, Brandy, and of course got my license and went to work for the largest chain of beauty salons in the world. And so I watched and, you know, and whatever, moved on up to style director, and then had my own salon and so forth and so on. So then, you know, I thought I was big time. You know, I thought I was big time. Someone called me, a company called me from Washington, and they wanted me to have a chain of beauty salons. My salon was Hair Plus. And they wanted me to do a chain of Hair Plus all over the United States. And then Oprah was just coming to Chicago, and you know, her hair was looking a hot mess.
Oh.
And so
I remember that.
and you know, my clients would say, we gotta contact them because you need to do her hair, you
Right.
know, and all of this. And I knew that wasn't God. And so all of that happened, and then I got a divorce.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm leaving out a lot, but ended up at this place, divorced, ended up homeless, lost home, and lost businesses, ended up sleeping in a abandoned office space.
Oh.
And it's funny. God is so funny. I would slip in there about between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And there was always a man there. He didn't have on a uniform. He didn't, you know, but there was always a man there outside of that business. And the only thing he would say to me was, good evening. And I would say, good evening to him. I didn't have any business being in the building is closed. What are you doing coming in here this time? And first, how are you getting in here? Yeah. You know, why is there always access for you to get in? And so in that building, sleeping on the floor in January and February in Chicago with the heat wasn't on at 1, 2, and 3 o'clock in the morning. Right? And so God, he took me in another direction.
Okay.
You know, away from the beauty salon. In the salon, I had a client whose husband had leukemia in the last stages. They had sent him home to die. Young man. And it only took 3 months. So someone suggested to him, try the naturopathic clinic in Waukegan. And he went there. The first thing they did was took him off of all cooked foods. Ooh. Yeah. They put him on raw foods. They had him drink distilled water. Now, at that time, distilled was the only good water that we knew. You know, we didn't have that spring water and all of that. We had distilled water. We had regular water. Maybe alkaline might have been coming in. I'm not really sure. But that's what they put him on. Okay. And then they gave him a regimen of nutrients. And in 3 months, he was healed. He was in remission.
Wow.
Not remission. He was healed. Yeah. And they sent him back to the doctors that had given him the prognosis that he only had a few days to live. Jesus. Because of the leukemia. And so I said, okay, God, because my client, the wife, she came in every week. So she would give me a blow-by-blow description of everything that the doctors were doing and so forth and so on. And so I told God, I said, I need to know what's in food, you know, that will cause this kind of, because I knew them. You know, I knew them. I knew their children. He had construction company he worked with his hands. When they finished in this 3 months with them, he looked like a 15-year-old boy.
Wow.
He did. He looked like a 15-year-old boy. All the cells of his body had been restored back to its original state.
How
And so,
amazing.
yeah, now you see.
Now
That
I
was
see why you-
yeah,
yeah.
that was my reaction to this. And I was like, God, I like this hair stuff. I thought I was gonna die behind this chair, but I gotta find out what's in food that brings about this type of change, especially with this kind of disease in the last stages. Last stages. And so I ended up in this in this abandoned office space on the floor, on no carpet, on this cold, hard floor. And God took me to Genesis. He took me to Genesis, and he had me in there until I hated Genesis.
Oh, wow.
People, they say heresy. You see us on their faces, heresy, heresy. But I was so tired of Genesis.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
knew that God was trying to tell me something in there. And he was teaching me genetics. The first chapter of Genesis is all about genetics. That those first few verses, that first chapter, those first. And so, when I began to get enthralled and enthused and began to get it, when I began to get a hold of what God was saying,
Sure.
then
That's
I
off the
began
chain.
to teach it.
That's
Right.
I began to teach what I learned from the Bible. I began to teach it as I coincided it with science. Because I always knew that God is the first scientist. He is the first scientist, the
That's
first
right.
geneticist.
That's right.
He is the first.
Right.
That's right.
And so I said, okay, if this that I am learning, if this is true, then it will coincide with science, because science and the word, they really had this. It's the same foundation.
Mm-hmm.
It is the same foundation. So it would, and that's how I started teaching it. And the first person that God gave, the first two people that God gave me, I always laugh about this because I think, God, you funny.
You got a sense of humor,
He was
huh?
testing you.
You're really funny.
You want to learn? Here you go.
I was at Morgan Park. Is it Pentecostal? Morgan Park, Pentecostal. I think it's Pentecostal because they got two. They right a block from each other.
Right.
And I was there for their men's conference, and I was teaching the chemistry of food and its relationship to disease. And when it was over, a young lady walked up to me and she said, "My brother has been sent home to die. He has a brain tumor. Can you help him?" Well, back then I was just I don't know if it was, I don't know exactly. I want to say I don't know if it was pride. What do you call that? Pride, ego, whatever you think. Because I was like, if God sent you to me, you gonna get healed.
Okay.
That was
Oh,
that
Oh,
was,
you're just confident.
yeah. Well, it was a little bit better than that, but
That is a good word. A good easy word.
Another
Yeah.
word
Yeah.
would be arrogant.
You were feeling yourself. Take you there. You were feeling yourself.
There you go. Yeah.
What year was that? What are the years?
Oh
in
my
this?
God, that was like 91.
Okay.
I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was about 91. Because it was 92 that I came to Sauk Hall.
Okay.
And so she said, "I want you to meet my brother." These were young people. And I'm like, these young people with
Yeah.
these brain tumors and with
Yeah.
these cancers. What is all of this?
Hey, I needed you then when my mama
And
had
so-
brain tumor. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. I'll be more than happy to.
Ooh.
But this young man, he couldn't carry on the conversation with me because he kept nodding off. He was nodding off every couple of seconds. He would just nod like a drug addict. And so I talked to his wife, and I told his wife, I said, he's going to have to stop smoking cigarettes. This is real short what I told his wife. I said, because cigarettes cause cancer. So he cannot get rid of cancer and smoke these cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then I told her, I want him to drink, I think I said 12 or 13 raw juices a day.
Wow.
That was it. That was it. I said, no, I said he cannot have anything but raw foods. And so for me, that means salad, that means smoothie, that means juicing. And so they had the young man
Yes.
who had the leukemia.
Mhm.
They put him on raw juices.
Mm.
They put him on raw juices. I just did a little tweak to it to make it more palatable for
Okay.
those that I was.
Okay.
But they had him on straight juices and water and nutrients. And so that's what I told her. They followed what I said to the letter. And I always say to myself, this is the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Wow.
And I guess because they were desperate,
Yeah.
because they had given him any day that he was going to die. And
You know, you're leaving me in suspense. So what happened?
okay, so a year later, I was at the same conference doing the same workshop. And this young lady walked up to me after. I didn't even recognize her. I'd only seen her once.
Right.
She said, I want to thank you. She said, my brother got well. She said he went back to work. He put his wife, they moved out of her mama's house and he moved into a house that he got for her and the family. And so, and I said, wonderful.
God.
I said,
Thank God.
so that the juice extractor that I gave your brother, because they couldn't even afford a juice extractor. I said, can you bring me my juice extractor? She said, no, ma'am. She said, my other brother saw how well that brother did, and he took your juice extractor.
See?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So these are my very first experiences with what God had put in food and how it works in the body.
Mm.
And the next client that I had, patient, whatever you want to call him,
Mhm.
is he had a brain tumor.
Mm.
He had a glial, they call it glioblasty multiforme number, whatever it was. And it was the tumor that it was a death sentence if you had this tumor. If you got this
My
tumor,
mom passed away from
everybody
that
was
one.
going to die. See?
It was stage 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
That's what
it.
she had.
And
Wow.
when I went to that family, which was out of state,
Mhm.
other side of the United States, when I went there,
Mm.
they were just waiting for him to die. He couldn't even get out of bed.
Jeez.
And on 3 days of just raw food, he was up out of the bed,
Jesus Christ.
coming down the stairs. Now that scared me because remember, he's my second.
Sure.
And before I got there, he couldn't get out of bed.
Ooh.
And this is the 3rd day of eating raw. And now he was running up and down the stairs, doing a slow run. But yet it was a run when he could not get out
He
of
was
bed.
out the bed. That's
Oh,
yes, ma'am.
And so he started walking, taking his walks. And when he would get back, I'd have his breakfast ready for him. And he told me, he said, do you believe I can live? I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, because you know, I believe if God sent me, you going to live. And so
There's that confidence.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
She
for being
pop a
nice.
collar.
You gonna live? Yeah.
Michi got me acting up over here, but you tell the truth.
And so he said, well, okay. He said, well, I believe I can live and you believe I can live. He said, so you're going to have to stay because we're the only two that believe I'm
Ooh.
going to live.
Oh.
Because the family wasn't really on board
No,
with
girl,
it.
they had all the laid out,
The
everything
plans and
everything was already accomplished. And I was even told the first night I got there,
Mhm.
you know, the family was wonderful. I love him to this day. I was told, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. Because Dr. Hunt was the one that sent me. Don't nobody tell Dr. Hunt no.
Right.
And so I was told, they said, we thank you for coming, but we already know he's gonna die. But I know he's gonna die. So I smiled and I said, okay, to myself, I said, we shall see. God sent me. He's not gonna die. That's what I was telling myself. And he did not. And he did not. And even so, they had said we had some glitches along the way. God taught me. He always taught me he taught me what do you say, hands-ons? He taught me
hands-on
Sure,
experience.
sure.
And so, okay, he was the tumor he had that you could not remove it, because if you removed it, it grew back within 2 months, and it grew back bigger than it was before, which means that you would run out of space and you would die. And so, am I taking too long? Am I talking too long? Am I good?
This is
intriguing.
I should have told you to pop out some popcorn.
Right. Yeah. What we're going to do right now is actually take a quick break.
Yes.
This is it's intriguing, and we love to hear what you're saying. So we're going to play a little music. We'll come right back for more of Windy City Podcast.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You know the storm is passing over. Hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. You know the storm is passing over. 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 You know storm is passing over. Hallelujah. I feel like prophesying. That ain't a cliche. There's somebody's word in this. Tell somebody the storm is. You know the storm. 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 It won't be long from now. So I need some praisers who aren't afraid to go public. Start praising him because he's faithful. Praise him. I said praise the faithful Lord. Tell him, Bishop, it won't be long from now. 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 Something got to give. It won't be long from now. Something got to break. It won't be long from now. In just a few more days. It won't be long from now. In just a few more. It won't be long from now. In just a few more days. It won't be long from now. It won't be long from now. Just keep on dancing. It won't be long from now. Just keep on leaping. It won't be long from now. Just keep on serving. a living testimony that he is powerful.
Windy City Podcast. My name is Michi, and that's Annette. And y'all, we've been talking so good with Dr. Shirley Hill, our special guest. I said when we were on our little break, we got to bring it back part 2. So we got to do part 2 with Gerald, and we got to do part 2 with Dr. Shirley.
That's right. We're going to do it too.
I think so. Yes.
I'll come.
Oh, see, she said, it's a done deal. Y'all heard it. Okay, y'all. So I have to tell you this. Earlier, right? I was showing I was like, oh, y'all got Tootsie Rolls. I want my Tootsie Rolls. She was like, that sugar. So I was like, she's getting me together already. We done got together with this coffee. Now we're going to talk about sugar, the effects of sugar in the body. Could you please elaborate?
Oh, we.
Yes, ma'am. Since coming off of the cancer, talking about the cancer,
Oh, we got to come back to that. Yes.
Sugar is how can I say this? Say
it.
the Holy
Yeah.
Spirit. Sugar makes cancer cell metastasize through the body.
My God.
Chocolate turns on or reignites cancer stem cells.
Mm.
So the reason you're told that you're in remission, not that you're healed, not that you're cancer free, the reason you're told that you're in remission is because chemotherapy and radiation, that it cannot do anything for the cancer stem cells. See, the stem cells, they go inside the human cell and hide. They're called hit and hide entities. And so you get hit with the cancer, and then the stem cells, those cells that can be changed into any, the cancer can use it to metastasize and so forth and so on. Well, they go in the cell and lie dormant. Well, to get to that stem cell, they would have to kill the cell, which is what chemotherapy does anyway. And so,
You trying to get your train of thought together?
no, I'm just giving everybody to get ready for it. Now, remember, sugar, it causes the cancer cell to metastasize through the body, right?
Yeah.
Chocolate turns the stem cells on. It turns them on. So then where you were in remission before, you're going to come out of that remission. And because you have been eating that sugar, it's going to come back in a vengeance. And so it's not that you have another cancer, you caught cancer again. It is that the stem cells from the original cancer, they were hiding in the cell, and you reactivated them with that chocolate, and that sugar gave them the ability to metastasize swiftly all the way through the body.
That explains a whole lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You know what I mean?
With all these lights, I like all the light bulbs just went on in my head about.
Yes. And I used to watch that hospital program where they don't charge the parents for the children that have cancer.
Is that St. Jude?
St. Jude.
St. Jude.
Yes.
St. Jude.
My
Thank you
cousin
all.
works there. She's a nurse there.
Listen, I used to watch St. Jude, but I can't do it anymore. I used to watch it because they would ring the bell.
Yes.
Children cancer
Yes.
free and all of that. But then the next scene you saw was them celebrating with chocolate cake.
Yep. Yeah. I've
And
seen that.
you see them celebrating with chocolate cake. And so I say, okay, these are going to be the children that will be returning because they are back in the throes of cancer.
Dr. Hill,
Yes, ma'am.
why do we do that? Because I know, and ignorance is not knowing. I was getting ready to say because of
Yeah,
ignorance.
it's
But
not knowing.
I remember a friend of mine whose husband had been diagnosed with cancer, and they were going through the treatments and all of that. And So while he was going through, they had like kind of changed their diet and wasn't eating, different things that would, affect. But then she said, I can't wait till this is over because we gonna have us some, a good
See.
old meal and get the chocolate, get the and I'm like, oh my God, please don't go back to that.
Yeah. And and that's why this is one of my favorite scriptures. I always say it. That Jesus said to the young man that he had healed the day before, and he saw him again the next day in the synagogue. And he said to them, were you made whole? He said, yes, I was healed. I was made whole. And Jesus said to him, go and sin no more, lest a greater thing come upon you. And this is what we are experiencing. We're never told the bottom line of the truth. See, we never know the truth. We're treating symptoms. That's all America is about. It's about treating symptoms. I don't even go to the American science and studies and research and all of that. I go to Switzerland. I go to Jerusalem. I go to Canada. I go to these places for the research because it is not money over people. It is people over money.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
so good. So that means these vaccinations that they always like just
Yes.
during the COVID era. Vaccines.
Let me tell you.
Who? Come on. Talk to me.
Avicii is hilarious. I love my
In
co-host.
Yes,
2020, in
ma'am.
2020,
Talk to
when
me.
we were when this thing was full bloom and we didn't know what was going on and so on, so forth and so on. In 2020 is when they came out with the vaccine, right?
Mhm.
That's what they told us.
You know what they discovered in 2020?
What they discovered?
They discovered in 2020 that autophagy would protect you against COVID. And fasting,
And what is autophagy?
fasting activates autophagy. Now, autophagy is the body's recycling process.
Okay.
So then let's say that in so many days, so many weeks,
Okay.
this organ, it renews itself.
So,
And every organ of the body does that. But in 3 days, in just 3 days of water fasting,
yeah.
your immune system is reset. Now,
See,
why is that important? It is important because the vaccines, they alter the immune system, and they cause the immune system to only identify that is in the vaccine. And so then that means that anything else can waltz in and walk right past your immune system because your immune system will not identify them as an enemy. That also means cancer cells. So now we got RSV, we have polio bacteria that
Yeah.
has come back up. We've got 12. See, they're not telling us about the 12 variants that have come from COVID. We got 12 generations from COVID.
wow.
We've
See, I
got
only know
12
about
different variants.
They only heard about maybe 2 or 3.
Oh no, honey, we got 12.
Oh no, yeah.
We got 12 and probably more than that. That's what I could identify and I could find. But that's been several months ago. So we're probably way, because you're looking at it. I look at my girlfriend's children now. She had cancer and she caught COVID. She went to be with the Lord. Her children are my children. I love them. They give these parties where there are hundreds of people there, hundreds. And they're all on top of one another. They are rubbing on each other, touching on each other, all in each other's faces. And I said, that's why we'll never get rid of COVID. That right there is in the United States is why we'll never get rid of COVID, because every time you cough in my face or you sneeze in my face or in my vicinity, and you have COVID and I have COVID, neither one of us know we have it for 7 days. We have no symptoms for 7 days. It won't even show up on a test for 7 days. And not only that, the testings that we have now are for the progenitors of what we have now. And so what we have now, it won't even show up on a test because we don't have a test for it.
Mm.
And yet we're swapping COVID back and forth. And then when those COVIDs, when your COVID and my COVID, your strain and my strain, when they come together as babies do, and then those cells, they split as cells do. And so now we got, and then they come back together. So now we got a recombination. So that's what when they talking about recombinant genes, that's what they're talking about. So now we have a different type of COVID. We have a different strain. Let me say it that way.
Yeah.
We have a different strain. So now we got 12 different strains that we're dealing with out here in the public that nobody knows about.
So I have a question as it relates to COVID and the
Mhm.
vaccine. There are several people that are very close to me who has now since been diagnosed with vertigo, but they also had to receive the vaccination because the jobs
Yes.
required it.
Yes.
But now there's been an influx of vertigo diagnosis.
And respiratory problems. There's a whole lot. Mental, neurological problems. There's a whole lot because remember, it was an experiment.
Mm.
Remember, there was no time to
Thank you.
to test this.
Yes,
there
ma'am.
was no time to see what the side effects are. There was none of that. There was just make it and then we'll find out what it does after we get it. That's what the whole long haul condition was about. And there are people that are still there. And listen, let me tell you, it is we still have about 5,000 people a week dying.
And they
From-
won't
from
say
COVID.
it now.
Well, they
Right.
don't say because politically, the reason that
You gotta love
people
America.
died is because we had so many deaths was because of politics.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
See, that was a
Okay.
That could have been
health
resolved.
problem. Yeah, that was a health problem. If they had only now the same year that they made the vaccine was the same year that they discovered that autophagy was the answer for
So they knew
COVID.
that.
They knew it.
They
Oh
knew
yes.
it.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So basically fasting. So you mentioned about the fasting helps with
Fasting,
your
the
immune system.
third day.
The third day.
Third day of water fasting.
fasting.
Not intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is to make you cute.
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting is to make you lose weight.
Yeah.
But that does
right.
not that you got to go 3 days on water in order for that immune system to reset itself back to the way God made it to perform. And so, and then another thing that we never hear is that your body has to have the materials that are necessary for these processes to take place. So then your body needs the nutrients. It needs enzymes. That is the thing
Right.
that it needs.
Right.
It needs the enzymes. Well, where do enzymes come from? Where do
Mhm.
these enzymes come from? Raw foods. Raw foods. Now, just tell me who you know that sits down to a plate of raw foods. Who do you know that sits down to
Not
a
I.
big
My husband.
bowl of see, that's when you first told me about your husband. I said, your husband, that's my kind of guy. That's why we talk on the phone sometimes for
Right.
hours.
Yeah, they do.
But salads, that salad, remember I said that first young man
Mhm.
that they took him off of all cooked foods.
Right.
And the only thing they did was gave him enzymes. They gave him enzymes and fresh water. Now think about it. Go back to Genesis. What did God do? He set them in a garden.
Sure did.
He made them, he took the physical body.
He
He
sure
took the
did.
dust of the soil. Now Now, science says that topsoil is what that would be. That topsoil is the most nutrient dense soil that there is.
Mm.
So God made our physical bodies out of nutrient dense soil. Then he put us in a garden for which he grew plants out of that same nutrient dense soil. So it would stand to reason that the things that grew out of the same nutrient dense soil that our physical body was made out of, it would stand to reason that it would rebuild, repair, restore, revitalize that body. Well, we go on fast, but we never replenish the body with
Yes.
the enzymes that are
Okay.
needed
Okay.
to carry out the process.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to interject here. Somebody had just sent me a text message asking about eating food from the ground. Talk about, and you already started going that route.
Went
Yeah.
there.
So is it, and I want to add to that because you were mentioning about the vaccine. I know some people, like Sis said here, had to take it because of their jobs.
Yes.
So basically, they can do that 3-day fasting of water to reset. But then after that,
They have to
You got to eat the foods that keep the body, because if you go back, if you return to what you were doing before, you're
The
going
fad,
to end up in the
okay.
same position.
so what are
with
some
the
foods we
same
can
conditions.
look for?
organic. So she talked about the food. So what's
Yeah,
is that?
yeah. Thank you for bringing it up.
Amen.
Thank you. That's a good point. It is not just fruits and vegetables.
Right.
Because I had to make it plain with someone that I was in. She had breast cancer. And so I would order her food and have it delivered to make sure that she had the food that she was supposed to have, or her children, family would have it for her. I had to expressly say to them, food that is grown from the soil.
Okay.
I said, no hydroponics, no GMOs, because, and so now nobody, I don't know if anybody is paying any attention but me, but I know I have a son who likes to, oh, mama, you need some food? You hungry? let me call so-and-so and have them deliver such and such and such. And so I said, okay, text in my list. I got this food. Let's see. There were some women that got my food and sent it. It was just what I would have gotten for myself.
Okay.
These little railhead boys and men.
Mother said it for us. Praise ye the Lord.
Was getting, I'm like, why is my cabbage molded at the bottom? What is this? What is pineapple? Because I test the leaves.
Right.
They just sliding right out. Okay, these leaves are not connected to anything. What kind of foolishness is this? So I cut them open, looking down the middle, right? There is no bromelain. That stalk that's in the middle, there is no stalk there. There's fiber there, but the stalk is not there. And the way you can tell that, when you pick up that pineapple, if you pull those leaves and those leaves come out in between your fingers, then that is a genetically modified
Shut
plant.
the front door.
And it has no bromelain. See, that's why you eat the pineapple, because the bromelain, it breaks down the protein,
Right.
the animal protein. It breaks it down and evacuates it from the body. There is no bromelain.
See.
I was
There
told
is
to
no
take
bromelain.
bromelain tablets.
No, honey,
That's not good.
eat the pineapple. Anything
I
that is in
love
a
pineapple.
tablet, me too, it'll burn your mouth all
It-
up.
yeah,
That's
it's
the
acidic.
bromelain. No, it's not acidic. That's the bromelain.
Oh.
And it's doing what it is supposed to do.
Shut the.
And when you buy
You
the,
better go somewhere.
you want to stop.
I want you to stop. But no, I don't want you to stop. I mean, I'm just like, you blowing my mind with this stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and see, okay, so now you understand what I was doing when he was had
Giving
me
you that.
on that cold floor in the wintertime
Yes,
in
ma'am.
Genesis.
Yes, ma'am.
Then this is what I was this was
Mhm.
my experience.
Yes,
This was
ma'am.
my experience. And so that I was highly upset when I got that pineapple and I
Oh, this
put
is
because
good.
this is the stuff that
Mm-mm.
these delivery men and boys brought to my door. And my son has spent all of this money because he don't know how to do it. Look, it's me by myself. He buy enough for all. He remembers when all of them were
Were
at home,
there,
so he
yeah,
buys enough for
sure.
everybody.
Oh,
And so I got this pineapple, and then I turned it over. So the bottom was molded, and the leaves were just sliding right out.
that's crazy.
And so and somebody had said to me, well, what about hydroponics? Because it's grown in water, they're grown in water. And I said, well, where did the nutrients come from?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they take fish nutrients or vitamins or something, and they sprinkle that in the water. And I'm thinking, okay, that doesn't even make sense. That makes no sense. If it's for the fish, what is it doing in my water to grow my food?
Oh,
And that makes no sense.
And then I said, okay, I got this stuff that has mold, that's moldy. I said, and it's not because it has been in the store too long. This is a fresh plant, and this mold is, when I tell you. And so I started researching on it, and it clearly said it. It said when you grow stuff in water, they mold.
My God.
Simple as that.
It just
So
as
is
simple as
organic
that.
really organic? Like it's like really natural? Because then what's the difference between natural food and organic food?
Not the word natural and pure is a lie. So anytime you see natural and you see pure, you
My
know
God.
it is not natural.
You
and
better
it's
bust
not
this stuff
pure.
up today, Dr. Hill.
Didn't she busting it up?
So,
Come on.
Look, I
Yeah.
know we only got a few minutes left. Tell us the name of your company.
Mo Faith Nutritional Services.
I always love that name. Mo Faith, MOPHETH, Nutritional Services. And what you tell them where they can find you, because I know people are probably going to want to
Oh yeah.
connect with you even after this podcast.
Okay. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. You can find me on let's see, my website is
Oh.
.com.
mofaith.com. Thank you.
Can you all spell it again
Yes.
for the website?
Sure. The website is MOPHETHNS.com.
Yeah. And we like to thank Mr. Tyrus Wright. Oh, he was with us last time. It's my brother. Hi. And my
Hi,
mother-in-law,
brother.
she texts. My sister-in-law, they text.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
she got the
Thank
popcorn
you
out
all.
too.
Thank you.
She said she get enough popcorn.
Wait a minute. Should she eat popcorn? Just kidding.
No.
Oh, Mama Rebecca, put that popcorn down. Oh my goodness, I gotta get rid of all my two popcorn at the house.
Microwave popcorn is poisonous. The
devil.
the butter, it's a chemical thing, and the microwave is poisonous.
The
So
microwave
should we just
itself.
put it back in the pot and
Yes.
the butter in
Yes.
the old school way?
Yeah,
Okay.
old school.
Go back to old
Yes,
school,
Go
y'all.
back to old school.
See. This is why we need a part 2 with Dr.
Oh, we
Hill, because
definitely
there's
get it.
so much. We didn't even scratch the surface
Soon
on
as I-
today.
I'm gonna look right now who we all got coming so we can put her in.
Right. We're gonna try and coordinate and get a date so we can get
Oh,
you back.
yes.
Okay.
But yes, if you need to contact Dr. Hill, please go to her website. You can. She's on Facebook as Shirley Hill. She's on Instagram as Dr. Shirley Hill. Right. You also have a Mo Faith.
I do. I'm also on YouTube, but I never go to either one of those.
Okay. Well, we don't
No,
want.
that's bad.
We
I
want.
have to work
We
on
want
that.
them to be able to connect with you. So.
Yes, Dr.
I
Hill.
have to work on
First and
that.
foremost, go to Facebook. You'll find her there, Shirley Hill, and Instagram as well. And we all know her website, MOPHETHNS.com. Please, please, please.
And prayerfully we can get her for April 3rd. I don't
Look,
know.
Sister
I'm
already.
Look,
Look.
I have the schedule out. Gerald sent us. I'm over here
well,
like,
I need to look at my schedule too. But
so we're just gonna see. We're gonna see.
okay,
And,
all right.
And
that
my
sounds
mother-in-law said she didn't get the popcorn, so that's good.
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 All right, mother-in-law, you on it. You on it. All right, great. This has been tremendous.
I
Thank you
love
so
it.
much, Dr. Hill, for taking time
my
out to come in and talk with us
goodness.
today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, of course, of course.
Yes.
All right.
I'm looking forward to this next meeting.
You
Oh,
already set it up.
I'm looking forward to it. Oh my goodness.
All right. Thanks, Gerald.
needed
Thank you,
this.
Reverend Morris. We appreciate this time on Windy City Podcast, and we will see you next
Yes.
Thursday.
Love y'all. Enjoy your weekend. Eat healthy.